The neurosurgeon evidence is that
it does not have to be you can use credentials and that makes sense.
Just keep doing what you were doing.
Because when people who are 21 or 18-year-olds are
So moving it down would help at all. That the 16-year-old brain isn't fully developed.
So we know he's the less responsibility because he's the one that proposed the GDO lower the driving, like the curfews and the age limit.
What is a
It's like a legislature, but
graduated driver's license?
Nice.
So he's saying that, like, if they can handle the freedom,
They should be able to,
so it's like based on power. Oh, okay.
You guys have all these.
It was Lawrence Steinbeck. Oh, okay. So that's our final answer? Yeah. What's the credentials?
He knows business science.
Work for the state of government? Okay. Yeah, so they work for the state of government. For the state they're highly educated individuals. Highly educated in terms of government and lawmaking.
Responsibility for this because he feels like there shouldn't be he should be allowed to do stuff that is more appropriate and more mature than for what others believe. And I feel like so he would want more of that, and he also feels like because he does work for the police force, so I feel like getting a car, it shouldn't be a big deal.
But when it comes to young people, keeps talking about like the law. From actual adults. Because they're not asking. Because they're not asking, like, they're just asking to be away. They're not taking away their ability to do this, or their right. They're just delaying it for future. Yeah. So
$5, and then anything below is occasionally.
But the kids are
They're asking teens to
Okay, so walking around, there are some really great sessions. How much more time do we need? Okay. All right, good job. Okay, so we've been, the last, week or 2 weeks or so, we've been talking about the controversy over age of responsibility for young kids, not kids, but young people, teenagers, and up to the age of 25. So today we were looking for a point of view from particular sources that an author was using in a particular piece of writing. So, who had the first one? Okay, so let's go ahead and start with you guys.
So, first off, like, he works in a local police force in Virginia, and so he had a memory, of course. Now he's 36, but back when he was 23, of course, he remembered that how he couldn't rent a car and all that, and how he thought, like, life in there is hard.
Yeah, and so his viewpoint would be that he believes that he does not like the age restriction, because he, like he said, he's a policeman, so why shouldn't he be allowed to rent a car? So he believes that there should be a law or a thing set in motion to where he can rent a car, because he, as a policeman, he sees more stuff, and he's probably done more stuff than what an average, once he lived 36 person, or by the time when he's 23 person would see.
Yeah, okay, good. So he would be advocating to give younger people more responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So make sure that you're writing down next to your source. Make sure you're writing down whether they want more responsibility or less responsibility. And we want to do this for each one of the sources, everybody, so that we can count them up at the end and see what we think the author's overall argument might be regarding this. Okay, how about you guys?
Okay, so we did state and local lawmakers and judges, and that's basically their credentials, like their officials, and they want less responsibility.
Because like with less responsibility, like how the car rental places, the brain fully develops at the age 25. And so they think maybe the car rental places are right all along, and they're just pretty much less responsibility for the kids.
Okay. What do you think are some of the challenges that state and local lawmakers face when they're trying to decide on laws for?
I feel like they face challenges of like people who like argue against them and stuff about it, even though they think maybe that's probably the best of what they see it, because they act like they're technically acting like a parent.
Okay, right.
Maybe the different pre-existing laws, like age 18 for like getting all these rights, and then 21 for drinking. But,
Okay.
Like so many people argue with it because they think that they're saying different ages for everything to make everyone confused and stuff.
Okay. Okay, good. And did you guys notice in paragraph 10, anything about the number of laws regulating the behavior of people under 18 has more than tripled since the 1950s? Did you have any sort of emotional reaction to that fact? How do you feel? Do you feel like that's a fair thing, or do you feel like, why are they restricting us so much?
Well, it depends. I think sometimes it can be kind of fair because the young people make stupid decisions,
Okay.
And sometimes some mature, some don't. So I think maybe it's kind of smart to try to keep it safe.
Okay, okay. So safety over, security over liberty. Okay, okay, and how about you guys?
We did it on Franklin Zinwin. His credential is he's a UC Berkeley law professor, and he advocates for less responsibility. He advocates for less responsibility because he thinks it's easier to block teens from obtaining rights than it is to take away rights from adults. So he just basically wants teens to wait just a little bit longer so they can mature properly, and then they can start receiving more rights as they grow.
Okay, good. And what was he? Oh, he was a law
Yeah,
professor.
he's a law professor.
Okay, good. All right, good job. Tanya.
So we had Jack McCardle. He was the former president of Middlebury College in Vermont, and he was also the leader of the group of college presidents calling for a national debate about the drinking age.
Okay, good.
And he basically viewed kids consider themselves as having no responsibilities about drinking and do as they please because they don't take that seriously. While if you have been granted this responsibility, they will take it more seriously as society views it as you being capable of this. And that's basically saying that he wants them to have more responsibilities because what Marissa said, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but Marissa said that it's kind of odd just to give all these rights to 18-year-olds, but then they have to wait another additional 3 years just to drink. So why not just wrap it up all together? Because he says in his statement, we have a law, or we, here, yeah, here. It says that McCardle believes that this is a direct consequence of the mixed messages states and send teenagers about responsibility, and then this law is, like I said, outdated or out of step with social and cultural reality. So basically, the laws don't match with society that is currently right now.
So would you? It sounds like you agree with him.
Yeah.
You would
It
be
just,
more
yeah.
in agreement with them that that young people should have more responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. And you guys?
We had Alexander Wagner, and he's a health policy professor at the University of Florida. And he thinks that young adults should have less responsibility because the drinking age is set at 21, and 18-year-olds are abusing that pretty much. And so if we move the drinking age down to 18, then like let's say 14-year-olds will start abusing that. So.
Anything else? Okay. So are we seeing a little bit of a pattern here? What the author is doing? He's kind of going back and forth from more responsibility to less responsibility, providing those counter arguments, which we want to see in your writing as well, right? Okay. Rachel and Kelly.
We got Lawrence Steinberg. He attended Temple University. He's a psychologist, and he's young should have less responsibilities.
Okay.
And he advocates for this, and he shows that brain scans between 16-year-olds and 25-year-olds are radically different, and that adolescents just aren't as responsible because their brain isn't as developed as an adult.
Yeah. And that's like really a known fact, right?
Yeah.
That your brains aren't fully developed until you're 25. Okay. So what do you think about this argument? Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I mean, I can't really disagree with it because it's a fact. It's like, yeah, 16-year-old brains are less developed than 25-year-old brains, so that's just what he's arguing, that they just sometimes they just aren't capable of making the same decisions.
All right, very good. Okay, Levi, Ben.
So we got John D. Miko, and he's an Illinois state representative. So he must know like the laws and the people in his state that he represents.
Yeah, and since he holds a political position, he's a reputable source.
Good.
But he's for less responsibility for adolescents, and his point of view is that adolescents just aren't mature enough to drive. And he pushed for raising the driving age in Illinois from 16 to 18, but he had to go with a compromise to just putting the curfew for when a 16 and 17-year-old could drive to earlier, and that actually cut down teen car accidents by 40%. So.
Some pretty amazing statistics, right?
Yeah.
Would you be in favor of that?
Well, I mean, the results were so positive that I think I'd have to be.
Okay. And you too, Ben?
Yeah.
All right. Good job. Colby and William.
We got Ronald Dahl, and he is a professor of pediatrics and psychology, right? So he should know what he's talking about on this
Yeah.
subject. And he believes that young adults should receive more freedom provided that they are able to handle it, that they're confident with that freedom.
Good. Yeah, I like your use of the word competent. Yeah, definitely. Only if they are showing competence. William, did you want to add anything? Colby covered it all?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good job. And Christian and Matt.
We looked at Robert Epstein, who is a psychologist and author of the Teen 2.0 magazine.
His stance was more responsibility. He believes that if states would know an adolescent's skill, that it would determine their responsibility level more confidence.
All right, anything else? That's good. All right, good job. And how about you guys to wrap it up?
We also got assigned the state and local lawmakers and judges. We said that their credentials were that they were highly educated in lawmaking and government, so they obviously must know that, you know, the laws they need to make and how to do it.
And within the paragraphs we read, we discovered that neuroscientists have discovered that the brain is not fully developed until the age of 25. We heard that before. But
this leads to lawmakers to believe younger people can't take as much responsibility because they're not physically capable. So they want to lower the ages of adulthood.
Good.
So yeah, they want to lower the ages of responsibility.
Okay. Okay. So now next, did you guys note more and less on each one of these?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's count how many more responsibility people we have and how many less responsibility people we have.
I got 4 more and 5 less.
Okay, so 4 people who are advocating for more responsibility for young people and 5 sources who are advocating for less responsibility. Now, do you think that this means that overall this author is saying that young people should have less responsibility?
No, I think he's just trying to take more on the safe side to raising the responsibility age.
Okay.
Just taking the side.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
Well, 9's an uneven number. He only has 9 sources, so either way there's going to be more than one or the other. So I think just that it happened to be he had more sources that advocated for less responsibility. I don't think he's advocating for that.
Okay, I agree with you. I don't think he's advocating for that either.
I think maybe he's trying to show the other side of the argument so he can show the counter argument.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very good point. And as we mentioned earlier, that's what we want to see. Even in an argument, even in an essay where you are making an argument, trying to prove your point, it's important to bring in the counter arguments as well. Okay, Levi, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I sort of agree with Rachel. I think he's going for more responsibility. And he seems to be introducing the opposition and then using his counter arguments. And like he finished off with a source that thought we should have more responsibility. So yeah, just the positioning of his sources.
I think that's a great point. You always want to finish off your paper with the way that you really feel about the particular subject, right? So and we have the people who are handling the last part of the essay here were saying that, he was saying that kids should have more or young people should have more responsibility if it's warranted and if they show competence, right? So, given that, what would you say his thesis is?
Well,
I thought it was that practically from puberty, young people are bombarded with mixed signals about the scope of their rights and the depths of their responsibilities. So he's just saying that lawmakers need to make up their mind whether we need more or less responsibility.
Okay, good. Anybody else?
Oh,
Yeah.
I got fair at 3. By the time adolescents become adults, they're accustomed to such an inconsistent treatment. So it's just
Yeah,
like
okay.
various treatments of how it's gone
Okay,
about.
good. Anybody else for thesis? Okay, okay, so we're gonna end that lesson there. The next thing we're gonna be doing is considering the writing task, activity 19, so if you want to start looking that over and getting prepared to do that. You guys did a great job.